The year is 1587. England is locked in a cold war with Spain, and survival depends on finding a foothold in the New World. The man with the vision is Sir Walter Raleigh, and his plan is to establish the city of Raleigh in a land he named Virginia, in honor of Queen Elizabeth. This wasn't a military conquest. This was a desperate attempt at survival. The new expedition consisted of 115 ordinary English settlers, men, women, and children ready to build a new life. Their leader was Governor John White, an artist whose heart lay in the New World. But the colony was poisoned from the start. The captain, Simon Fernandez, abandoned the settlers on Roanoke Island, a swampy, terrible site already cursed by the failures and cruelty of an earlier military mission. They were immediately surrounded by tribes who viewed them not as neighbors, but as invaders seeking revenge. The first hope and the first victim arrived quickly. On August 18, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in North America, came into the world. Her birth was a symbol of triumph. Days later, a settler was ambushed and killed. The surrounding jungle became hostile territory, facing a brutal winter with supplies already dwindling. The settlers made a desperate plea. They begged Governor White, the only man with the Queen's ear, to sail back to England for immediate aid. Reluctantly, White agreed. He promised his daughter, Eleanor, and his infant granddaughter, Virginia, that he would be back within 6 months. It was a promise he would be unable to keep for 3 agonizing years. Before he left, White established a silent contract. If they had to move, they must carve their new destination onto a post. If the move was caused by distress or attack, they were to carve a Maltese cross above the name. This protocol was their only lifeline. John White returned to England in late 1587, ready for a swift return voyage. He secured his ships, loaded his supplies, and prepared to leave. But history had other plans. The conflict with Spain had reached its breaking point. King Philip II launched the massive Spanish Armada, aimed at crushing England. Queen Elizabeth I instantly mobilized the entire nation, ordering that every available ship be seized for the defense of the realm. White's small relief. Ships were immediately confiscated. His pleas were ignored. National survival came first. He was trapped in London, watching helplessly as the 6-month window he promised his family closed, and the years 1588 and 1589 dragged on. The defeat of the Armada was a triumph for England, but a disaster for Roanoke. The war continued to stall all major sea traffic. White, consumed by guilt and frustration, spent 2.5 years begging for a ship. He knew his family had survived the first winter alone, but now faced a second, a third, and the cold, terrifying knowledge that no help was coming. That it was not until 1590 that White finally secured passage, hitching a ride on a privateering ship that viewed his rescue mission as a costly detour. On August 18, 1590, Dare's 3rd birthday, John White finally dropped anchor off the coast of Roanoke. The atmosphere was heavy with silence. No signal fires, no smoke. White and his landing party rowed ashore, shouting the names of the settlers. The only response was the sound of the wind and the waves. The entire settlement was deserted, but what they found was not the scene of a massacre. The homes and fortifications were dismantled, not destroyed. All heavy equipment lay on the ground, but all smaller, valuable tools were gone. This was an organized, methodical departure. The first definitive clue was found carved onto the main gatepost of the dismantled fort. The single, clean word CROATOAN. White's heart briefly surged with hope. CROATOAN was the name of the friendly indigenous tribe on a nearby island, the tribe of Mint. The most crucial detail: there was no Maltese cross carved above the name, the agreed-upon signal for distress or attack. This meant the move was peaceful. A final clue, the letters CRO, was found carved into a nearby tree. White desperately tried to charter a ship to CROATOAN Island, but fate intervened one last time. A severe storm blew up, and the privateering captain, prioritizing the safety of his profitable vessel, refused to risk the search. John White was forced to leave the New World forever. He never found his family. The entire mystery of the lost colony rests on the interpretation of that single, chilling word. The silence was broken only by speculation, which falls into 3 dark theories. Peaceful assimilation. This theory, supported by White's evidence, suggests the colonists followed the plan and joined the CROATOAN tribe. They survived the attack of the elements and hostile tribes by sacrificing their English identity, intermarrying and slowly blending into the native population. This is the most hopeful yet culturally tragic scenario: violent annihilation. This darker theory suggests they were massacred shortly after moving. The later Jamestown settlers heard rumors that the powerful CROATOAN tribe, fearing an alliance between the colonists and their tribal enemies, ordered their destruction. Powhatan claimed his men wiped out the settlers, sparing only a few children and women to be held as servants. Environmental destruction. The colonists may have attempted to move inland toward their original destination Chesapeake and simply failed. Starvation, European disease, or the sheer brutal cold of an unfamiliar wilderness could have killed them all en route, leaving no one alive to complete the carvings or leave a trail. Modern archaeology has found evidence supporting the assimilation theory. English tools and domestic items, clearly cut and repurposed by Native Americans, have been found in 16th century indigenous village sites both on Hatteras Island and further inland. They did not vanish. They simply became American in a way the English were not yet ready to understand. The Lost Colony of Roanoke remains one of history's great unsolved cold cases. The fate of Virginia Dare and the 115 English citizens is sealed behind the silent, vast expanse of the American wilderness, haunted by the memory of a 3-year broken promise and one chilling word carved into a post-CROATOAN. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get updates for more dark mysteries. Thank you for watching.